This is Sportscentre.
Hey, I'm Marissa Roberto on the Digital Sportscentre presented by Montana's Barbecue and Bar. And I'm at Copetown Woods Golf Course, and I'm going to explain more on that later. But first, we got to get to Raptors. Because massive news, Masai Ujiri is out as vice chairman and president. Now, according to Shams and the wording he used, it was that both parties decided to part ways, with MLSE saying in their statement that they decided to part ways with Ujiri. No, the timing of this is what is really off, as it comes the day after the NBA draft concludes, and about a week away from free agency. Now, in the MLSE statement, they did announce that GM Bobby Webster was extended, and that they will search for a new team president, which caught some people off guard, given MLSE and what happened with Brendan Shanahan, as he was not renewed as Leafs team president. Well, MLSE president and CEO Keith Pelly spoke about Ujiri just moments ago.
Well, I think there are major factors that go into a decision at this large, but the primary reason in this case was the situation and where we currently are in basketball operations. As I talked about, the stability with our roster, the stability with our front office, and the stability with our coaching staff. And that allowed us to make a decision to move forward.
So when was he told firmly this was the decision?
We talked earlier at the beginning of this month.
And what were your impressions of how he took that news?
I think Masai is a professional, and so he took it as such. And I think that Masai, no doubt, will be speaking in the coming days, and you can ask him that question directly.
Pelly also touched on the timing of all of this.
So Masai and I spoke over a month ago, and he asked that if a change were to happen, that it was post-draft. And that made the most sense. Not to disrupt the draft process. You know, we were holding the 9th pick, a top 10 pick, and of course, Masai's, not only his area of passion, but his area of expertise. He's prolific when it comes to the draft, and we were grateful to have him as the person with Bobby leading our draft.
Breaking news! John Tavares has re-signed with the Leafs. A 4-year deal worth $4.38 million AAV. Tavares had 38 goals and 36 assists in 75 games played last season. According to our own Chris Johnston, the deal includes a no-movement clause for 2 seasons, before converting to a 5-team trade list.
Thanks, Cam. Love hearing that news. Let's go back to basketball and waste no time bringing in our guy, Josh Loomberg. Josh, thanks for taking the time today.
Hey, Marissa.
Okay, Masai's out the day after the draft. Let's start with just how shocked you were when you heard the news.
Well, we knew that this was a possibility with Masai Ujiri going into the last year of his contract and all of the changes at MLSE in ownership and in philosophy. But the surprise is the timing, coming a day after the draft, I should say, and a few days before free agency. I saw Masai a couple days ago, and he seemed jovial. He seemed like himself. Certainly didn't get the sense that this was imminent. But even if you did saw it coming, it's going to take some time to adjust to, because Masai and his presence, they were so closely associated with this organization, and it's really hard to imagine them moving forward without him.
How does losing someone like Masai just a few days before free agency affect the potential moves they'll be able to make this offseason?
Well, I don't think it changes anything in the short term. The vision remains the same because the leadership team remains the same, with the exception of Masai. And that's how we know this had nothing to do with vision. This was a cost-cutting move, first and foremost. I mean, the teams around the league, there's a few of them that have been sniffing around, which is always the case whenever Ujiri's contract is coming up. So we would have had some leverage going into contract negotiations, and surely he was looking for an expensive new deal. He's already one of the highest paid executives in sports, if not the highest paid. So I don't think it's specific to Masai, but clearly MLSE and Rogers looked at this and said they don't think that anybody is worth that kind of money in that position. So safe bet that the next president of the Raptors, whoever it ends up being, makes a fraction of whatever Masai made.
Josh Loomberg, a pleasure as always.
Thanks, Marissa.
To the ice, and it's a huge one tonight. Although I guess they're not actually going to be on the ice, is the NHL Draft. And the one thing that seems to be locked in is defenseman Matthew Schaefer of Erie going first overall. He only played 17 games this season in Erie, thanks to a broken clavicle at the juniors. But the 17-year-old put up 22 points in the games he played. Now, based off the odds, it looks like we'll have a pretty clear picture on the next few picks as well, as it doesn't get until pick number 5, where we see a favorite at plus money. Okay, so as you've seen all show, I'm here at Copetown Golf Club covering the Navigator Cup, as James Duthie and Brendan Gallagher are going head-to-head against O-Dog and Nazem Kadri, a match you can catch on TSN July 1st after Free Agent Frenzy. And there's a reason why our own TSN broadcasters are going against each other, and that's because of a heated game they played as teammates in the past.
Well, it depends. The last time I played in a match, he was my partner, and he absolutely sewered me.
I'm not a Hab guy, but today I am a Hab guy because my partner is my lifeline here, and so we're going into the trenches together.
Now, going into the head-to-head match, Duthie seems to think he's the underdog.
I am the underdog in this whole thing. You have 3 elite athletes, well, 2 elite athletes, and O was one like 25 years ago. And so I'm like the Rocky Balboa character, and I hope to use that to my advantage and shock the world, like the athletes like to say.
But the curveball here is that O-Dog is not at the peak of his powers going into the head-to-head match. At least according to himself, but Duthie wasn't buying it.
There is a bit of an issue today where sometimes in sports you got to play through an injury, and I got a back problem. That could be a problem out there.
Okay, I've heard this stuff before. Like, to me, that is the single greatest cop-out. He's a +2 handicap. He shot 64 at TPC, and now suddenly he gets in his first match against me, and his back is sore. And so I just think this is what you do only because I've done it before. I'm the guy who uses every excuse before a match and after a match. Yeah. And so I've played this game before, and I know what he's doing here. If he fails, he's got a fear of failure right now, and if he fails, it will be because of the back. So if we win, he'll be like, wow, guys, it was my back, or I would have been awesome. So it's BS.
And just a reminder to tune into the Navigator Cup on TSN July 1st, immediately following Free Agent Frenzy. Back to the ice, and we're closing out the week by looking ahead to another team's offseason. And today it's the Senators. After 7 long seasons without a playoff appearance, the Sens had their breakthrough last year, and now they're looking to build on that success. But in order to do so, they'll need to take a serious look at their offense. While the Sens are just slightly below average in goals per game, their 5-on-5 offense was among the worst in the league. And considering Ottawa relied on their power play for more than a quarter of their goals last season, adding consistent scoring has to be the top priority. Now, how they do that is an interesting conversation, as with over $10 million in potential cap space to play with, virtually everything's on the table. One option would be to bring veteran Claude Giroux back, who's set to be a UFA July 1st, after 3 productive years in the nation's capital. And if you take GM Steve Staios and head coach Travis Green's word for it, they'd really like to see him return. But Giroux is turning 38 next year, and if they want to go younger, they can dip into free agency. And if they do, Brock Besser is a name to keep an eye on. Ottawa reportedly has interest in the former Canuck, and while he would not be cheap, he would fit in perfectly, and might just be the guy to help solve those scoring problems. But it's only speculation for now, and we'll see what happens July 1st. Here we go. We are talking golf today. Gally, we got to talk about your partner. Are you feeling confident with Duthie?
Absolutely. I mean, the way he's talking, just saw him stretching out his back. He was here at the range at, 9 a.m., getting warm. So I expect good things out of him.
Do you feel like maybe you're setting the bar too high? Because your opponents also have some talent on their roster.
Yeah, but heart beats talent any day of the week, and that's what Duthie has. So I'm not too worried.
Do you think there's something about playing former Maple Leafs that maybe they have a better than average golf game?
Yeah, I owe Naz a little bit. He, maybe not so much with the Leafs, but my time in Hamilton when he was with the Marlies, he did his fair share of winning. So I owe him one.
Did you hear that O-Dog actually has a back injury?
Who told you that?
O-Dog.
Sounds about right.
So you feel like maybe you've got this in the bag today?
I'd expect so. I mean, wouldn't have flown all this way if I didn't think that. So we'll see how this goes.
All right, good luck out there.
Thank you.
Naz, we got to talk about your partner today. Do we have any confidence at all?
From what I've heard, yeah, I'm supposed to have a lot. So hopefully he can perform the way he knows how.
He told me he has a back injury. Does that concern you?
I mean, I think he might be just trying to get an extra stroke or two. I think he might be using that as leverage. So, I'm sure he'll fight through it. He's a warrior.
Do you think there's something about being paired with another former Maple Leaf? Is there some magic there?
Yeah, hopefully we can, show some early chem and draw up a game plan, talk some trash doing it.
Now, you've already won a cup with another team, so I feel like I can say this confidently. Is there something about being a former Maple Leaf that makes you exceptionally good at golf?
No, there's absolutely nothing. I have my good days and bad days, just like most people.
Okay, fair enough. We have to talk about your opponents here. We're playing a little Hab action. Even Duthie has red on. How do you feel about that?
I don't mind it. I don't mind the contrast. I'm happy. I got the low low score, and O-Dog, I've heard he's a wonderful player. I haven't gotten the chance to play with him yet, so looking forward to seeing him play today.
You've actually played a few amazing courses in your day. How would they compare to this one?
It looks good. I mean, it looks good. I've played some nice ones, and I've had the luxury of doing that. But seems like it's well kept. Sun's just creeping out now, so it should be a good day.
We like the overcast. Actually, it makes us look a little prettier on camera, so we need this.
Sure do. I mean, I don't know. I feel like a little sun wouldn't hurt, but sure.
No, I like the overcast, okay? So we're keeping it this way. Good luck out there.
All right, thank you.
Cheers, thanks. And just a reminder to tune into the Navigator Cup on TSN July 1st, immediately following Free Agent Frenzy. Originally, Chris Hine asked for 2 interviews. I gave you 4, so you're welcome. We will see you back here Monday, 3 Eastern, New Pacific. Have a great weekend.